A good Monday morning. To everybody, to everyone here. A very good morning. Today we have the year 7, week 7. Thank you for following us until week 7. This is a very short course. I'm trying to just do some introduction to you so that you can do your self-study. And later, if you have your class or your tuition, you may further get some detailed idea from your teacher. So you can use this one as a preview. Okay, I will try my best to cover the topics. This is year 7, week 7. living things in their environment. Okay, so we are learning about the environment, and the whole topic will be like this. This is so-called ecology. Ecology means the knowledge of everything, okay, in our environment, ecology. Okay, ecology. This is the keyword. Ecology, okay, the studies of living things in their environment. Okay, ecology. So to study ecology, we need to start with our habitat. It's the place where the plants and animals live, such as woodland, such as a sea, a river, a lake. Next, we have the environment. Environment. Environment is everything around a living thing which could affect its survival. Survival means to stay alive without being extinct. So we have two types of factor. One is called abiotic, and the other one is called biotic. Okay, biotic is a living things. Abiotic is the non-living things factors. So the abiotic is amount of the food. How much grass do you have? And how much predator you have. Okay, so this is sometimes it will be represented in this graph, which is when there's a there's a land that the grass is a plenty of grass, so the plenty of land, so the grass will grow. Okay, the grass will grow. After some time, it will be followed by some rabbit will coming in. Okay, as the rabbit grows, so the grass, as the rabbit grows, so the grass will become decreased because they cannot the growth of the grass is slower than the growth of the rabbit. So the rabbit will continue to grow until certain level. The rabbit will cannot find enough food because the grass is become smaller amount. So the rabbit will decrease. As the rabbit decreases, then the grass will have time to grow again. Okay, so this will be interaction between these two, but sometimes it involves a lot. Other than the grass, you may have some fox, some other predator. Okay. The abiotic factor will be the temperature, wind speed, amount of light, and the water. Okay. Then we have the community. Okay, just now we learned about biotic factor. Community is all the plant and animal, all the biotic factors in the habitat. Okay. For example, you may have squirrel, deer, and monkey, and some bird and some insect, and snail, spider in the woodland. Next, we have this so-called ecosystem. Ecosystem is made up of the community of living things and the abiotic factors. Okay, so this is made up of these two biotic and abiotic things. Okay, and it is actually only needs sometimes it's only needs the energy so that it can become self-sustaining. That means that this ecosystem is stable. We need to learn about biodiversity. You may read more on biodiversity because this is related to the number and the variety of the species in the system. Okay, the last one for the first page will be the fruit chain. Okay, this is Mr. Henry Clement. Okay, for your year 7, week 7. The fruit chain start with the sun energy. Okay, the energy is a source of energy from all the process. So the producer, usually the plants, okay, it is a plant with a green pigment, chlorophyll, can absorb the sunlight energy and to change the low energy carbon of carbon dioxide into the high energy, which is the glucose. So this is a food that will be consumed by the primary consumer. Usually the primary consumer will be the herbivore because they are only the plant eater. Okay. And all these plant eater will be consumed by the secondary consumer, which is a carnivore. Carnivore is the animal feed with other animals, and omnivore is that they mix. They have they eat meat and the animal and also the plant. And then we have the tertiary consumer, which is usually the carnivore. And finally, you may have in some chain the quaternary consumer. So, however, all this living thing will decay, decay by the decomposer, and then to produce some nutrient to the plant again. Okay. In year 10, we will be learning more, but this is a simple form of the food chain for the learning of the year 7. Okay. So to learn about the biodiversity, we need to record the plant life in the habitat. Okay. So we need to investigate a habitat, okay, to monitor the habitat and to find the population of each species. There are some way of recording and investigating plants. Number one will be the quadrat. Quadrat is you are using a square frame which is thrown randomly. This is not chosen carefully by the researcher. Is to be thrown randomly for the vet test, and it may repeat it in many times. Okay, and then with this small square, we may count the number of the species, and the plant will be all recorded. So this method is repeated a number of times, and the result of the random sample are used to build up a record of how the plants are distributed. An estimate of how many of each kind of plant there are in the area can then be made. This is the idea of using this quadrat. And we have the transect. Transect is a line, okay, you should use on the bank, footpath, and hitch. So sometimes we call this is a line transect. Okay? So the line transect is chosen carefully. Okay, this is why. This is so that the line can cut across the feature being examined. Okay, the transect is made by stretching a length of the road along the line to be examined and recording the plants growing at certain intervals, which is called stations along the road. When plants are being recorded along the transect, abiotic factors such as temperature and dampness, which is humidity of the soil, may be recorded to see if there is a pattern between the way the plants are distributed and the varying abiotic factors. We may also want to learn about the small animals, so we may have we may need to use some collecting methods for the small animals. Okay, so the number one will be the 10-grain funnel, which is, can you see, this is a bulb here. This is a bulb, and then this is a simple soil which contains a small organism. So this light and heat, okay, because the animals, they don't like light and heat. So the light and heat will force the animal to go down, and this is the gauze, and the animal will fall into the alcohol. So we can investigate and see the available of the small organism. And another one will be the pig fall. Okay, the pig fall, you can see this is not so small, it's a big one. Okay, so the animals, small animals fall into the pitfall. Okay, and we may use a net also. Okay, the net now you can catch. You can catch the small organism animals. Okay, by just sweeping it. Okay, using a sweep net. This is especially helpful on the grass. Okay, then we have the sheet and beater. Sheet and beater is that you have the here, and then you use something to beat, and then the thing will fall in the sheet, then you can count. Okay, and then the one will be interesting one will be the putter. Putter is a collecting jar or gar okay grass then you can okay this is the person's mouth. Okay, I'll make the draw. This is from the tube from the mouth and then going into the grass, and then this one you have a cloth to cover, and then you have another tube, okay, which is you may use to point to the wait. This is a leaf. This is leaf. And then there is a small bug here. Which is a ladybug. Okay. So this mouse will be here. Oh, sorry, the mouse shouldn't be this color. So this mouse will suck in the air to create a low pressure. So the bug will also follow and drop here. So and now the bug will be here. After that, we should follow with the adaptation. Okay, adaptation of the plant. Okay. Here we are using back our books, okay, for the adaptation. So the plant and animals, they will adapt to the environment, okay, when the condition has changed. Because can you see there, the earth spin on its axis and bring each place to the surface toward the sun and then away from it. It's a daily cycle. So for every day also, the plant and animal need to adapt. Okay, this is the example of that. Okay, on this flower, some plants such as hostas and tulips open their flower during the day and close at night. The flowers are open in the day so that the insect may visit. Can you see? So clever. Then for nectar, nectar is a sweet thing in the flowers, and in return, transport pollen from one flower to another, bringing about pollination. The flower close at night to protect the dedicated structure inside the petals and how temperature and from dew, low temperature and from dew. The dew could wash the pollen off the stamen, male part of the flower, so that it cannot pick up and transport by the insect. Okay, this is the way they protect, right? Because the water will wash down the pollen, so they think, oh, so I close at night. Okay. Another thing, another type of the plants, which is called the night-scented stalk, is an unusual plant that its flower open in the evening and close during the day. These adaptations allow the moth to visit the flower and pollinate them. Okay, a few plants makes movement of their leaf over the 24-hour period. Leaves not only make food but also provide a large surface area for the evaporation of water, which in turn helps to draw water through the plant from the root. In wood sorrel, for example, each leaf is divided into 3 leaflets. During the day, the leaves spread out and become horizontal. In this position, they are the best place to receiving sunlight to make food and for losing water through the air, which causes the plant to draw out water from the root, which is also called the transpiration or evapotranspiration. The water is needed to make food, and it also helps to keep the leaf cool in the sunlight. In the evening, the leaflets fold together, close together. This helps them to lose less water when the plant is not making food. Plant can make this movement by moving water about inside their body. When there is a lot of water in one place, it makes the cell swell out. When some of it is removed from a place, the cell sag. This swelling and sagging of the cell allow part of the plant to move slowly. So this is, can you see? For the day and night, the plant will also try to adapt to the hot weather in the day or the night, and also because of the habits of the pollinator, such as the moth and bee. Okay, they will adapt themselves to the environment. Okay, so we have also another thing, which is the animal adaptation. Okay, I find it I have found an interesting video on YouTube, and you may have a look, which is you may type the Tony Owl and the how they flew in the darkness without making any noise. Okay, so this is an interesting video. You may look on YouTube. Okay, animals are adapted to being active at certain time of the day and the rest of the other and resting at the other time. At night, Most birds sleeps, but as soon as it's the light, they may start flying about in search of food. They have large eye and consequently have excellent vision, which is essential for them to fly, land, and search for food. The tawny owl has several adaptations that allow it to catch a mice at night. It has a large eye that are sensitive to the low intensity of light in the countryside at night. This allows it to see well through to fly safely. The edge of some of the owl's wings feathers are shaped to move, can you see, noiselessly through the air when the bird beats the wind. It prevents the mouth skin sense of hearing from detecting the owl approaching in flight. The owl has sharp talons on its toes to act as the languor and kill its prey quickly and to help to carry the prey away to the safe perch. Okay. And then can you see at night time at night? Most of them are replaced by the bats. Huh? These animals rose in the day and come out at dusk to feed. Many species hunt by flying insects. Bats do not use their eye, but they develop an echo location system. They send out a very high-pitched squawks that we cannot hear, so they can use the echo to find the location. This sound reflects off all the surface around the bat and travel back to their ears. The bat uses the information from this sound to work out the distance, size, and shapes of the object around it. This allowed the bat to fly safely and detect insects in the air, which can be swooped towards and eat the yummy insect for the bat. Many insects such as butterflies, bees, and wasps are active and fly during the day and night. Moths take the air and to search for food. The squirrel. Okay. The squirrel is a mammal that is active during the day. Deer may be active, but they are hide away in vegetation. Few mice and voles may be active during the day, but hide in the grass and other low vegetation. These animals are also active for period at night when they are at risk of falling prey to night predators such as the fox and the owl. Okay. So from your books, okay, other than the day and night, you can also study about plant adaptation to the seasonal change. Okay. The very first thing we need to introduce to you is this deciduous tree. Okay, deciduous tree. Okay, here we may have to read this one. Many trees have broad and flat leaves. They lost a great deal of water due through them in dry season in the region where the ground freeze in winter and prevent water being taken out by the roots. The tree lost their leaf and grow in new one when the condition improve. These three are called deciduous tree. Okay, we have the evergreen tree. Evergreen. Okay, so okay, this is such as the holly and the most conifers have the leaf that lost little water in winter. This allows the tree to stay in leaf all through the year. Trees that behave in this way are called evergreen. Okay, and then we have some plant which is zones. Okay, the plant float on the open water or the pond in the spring and summer, do not remain there in the winter. Duckweed produce individuals that sink to the pond floor, while the water plants called flockweed produce heavy seeds. The plants around the water edge die back and survive in the mud as thick stem called rhizomes. And then we have the animal adaptation. This is interesting. So if you really like this topic, always find the material. Always find the material from the internet or articles in your library. Then you can read it through this one. Animals. Okay, animals. Animals The roe deer, okay, live in the woodland in Europe and Asia. In the spring and summer, when the weather is warm, it has a coat of short hair to keep it cool. In the autumn and winter, it grows longer hair that trap the insulating layer of the air next to its skin, so it deals the loss of the heat. Okay, just a coat for the deer. So there are some other animals that you can always learn and read. Okay, so this is the deer. Okay, this is an African lungfish out of water. It has a pair of lungs, which it used to extract oxygen in the air. Can you see? The lungfish of Africa and South America live in the river, but when the river dry out in the dry season, they can still survive. Yeah, they make a burrow in the river bed and rest there, breathing air until the rainy season returns. This kind of the rest through a hot dry season is called estivation. So in other places, such as woodland in Europe, insects avoid harsh winter conditions by spending their life in the inactive stage in their life cycle, such as the egg and the pupa. This means that the insect-eating animals, such as bats, have nothing to eat in the winter, so they store up fat in the autumn to give them energy to sleep through the winter in a state called hibernation. They sleep for the whole long winter. So they will stay in this stage. Okay, or this stage. So there will be no food for the bat and no food for the insect eater. Other than the adaptation of this one, some birds actually they will migrate to the warmer place during the winter. Okay. The first we have learned about the adaptation for the day and night. Secondly, we have learned about the adaptation for the different seasons. Now we need to know that actually the adaptation also happens in the habitat. So a desert is a place with a short rainy season followed by a long dry season. Okay, so some flowering plants have very short life cycle so that their seed can germinate as soon as it's rain. They can then grow, flower, and set seeds before the soil loses all its moisture again. Caterpillars survive dry season by storing water inside their body. They have a thick, waxy covering to prevent water from escaping from their surface, and spike to prevent animals from biting into them for the drink. Some caterpillars have roots that split out a long way. This is called the taproot. Underneath the soil surface, they collect as much as water as possible from the upper part of the soil when the rain arrives. The other caterpillar have a long roots which grow deep into the soil to collect water and has the drain down there, which is taproot. Okay, this is a camel. Arabian camel, dromedaries. Like this one are found in the desert of the Africa. Okay, this camel have many adaptation for survival. After drinking 100 liters of water, it can walk for several days without taking another drink. Its feet have thick pads which is insulated from the hot desert sand. The feet are also webbed on their wings to spread out on a large area. This reduces the pressure on the sand and stop the camel from sinking it. The camel has long legs which hold the body above the hot air close to the ground. There are muscles in the camel's nose that enable it to shut its nostrils. This keeps sand out of their respiration system during the sandstorm. Their eye has long lashes which keep flying sand from reaching their eye in the sandstorm. If the sand does get into the eye, the camel have a third eyelid to get it out. It moves from side to side and wipe the sand particle away. It is so thin that a camel can see through it, and camel often keep its third eyelid closed while walking through the sandstorm. Desert plants have tough leaves, but the camel have strong teeth to grind them out. The camel cannot find the food, it uses energy stored in the fat and is a hump. Okay, so we may see some extreme geographical shapes such as mountain. Okay, mountain. So the mountain, okay, plants on mountain may spend the cold season on as seed and sprout into the life again when the warm condition comes, arrive. Okay, so I think you would like to look for some picture which is the animals, okay, the goat, actually they can stand, okay, they can stand on and climb the mountain, okay, in the how to say, in a very special skill, okay. Okay, let me show you some of the picture. Okay. Yeah, you may want to see this picture. Okay, this is how the mountain. Okay, you may want to see this one. You see that actually the goat can be having a very steep cliff. They're good in climbing, right? Okay. Try your best to always find the picture and find something extra knowledge from your internet resource. So we may have some aquatic habitats to be looked through. So it's interesting. Okay, so we have a lot of the new species of the organism, which is animal and plant, which is we highlighted in this book. Just take your time to learn it from the internet slowly and read through every articles. Okay. So this is can you see this? This is actually a diving beetle that feed on the earthworm. Okay, this beetle can dive in the water and eat the earthworm. Whereas this is the fur seals diving around a large seaweed called kelp. Okay, so I think this is too long, okay, for me to read through everything. Okay, for you, I think I would like you to read yourself and try to find it from internet. Okay, so adaptation on the feeding. Okay, so this is, can you see the giraffe become very tall so that it can eat the leaf. Okay, so this is for today's lesson. So I hope you enjoy this very short but brief and important and interesting topic. Okay, this is Mr. Henry Clement. We will be seeing you on later 10 a.m. for the math class. Thank you for watching, being with us. Thank you very much.